Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Before we start this podcast, just a quick housekeeping note. We are switching our podcast provider from self-hosting to LibSyn. If you experience any difficulties or problems like you're not getting updated podcasts, we are going to be consistently releasing for the next month, so we're not going to skip a week like we did a few weeks ago. Just check your feed, make sure that everything's working all right. If you have trouble finding our podcast, please message us on Facebook or Twitter or email us and let me know so I can fix it. Just want to make sure that everybody stays in the loop with By the By.
So I was in the shower, I was cleaning my ass and making all shirts all sparkly, spanky clean.
I'm not the funny one, I'm the pretty one.
Cock shots. I just checked myself out.
Candles, music, wine, and then lube up and get on top.
The glory hole's like a Dick Theater. I've imagined your friend.
Which means your pants had better come off. Mama needs playtime.
We're not sluts.
We just love love.
So it's my first time here. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Mr. Adam.
And this is Mrs. Adam.
And you found us here again on By the By. This time today, well, number one, I am not drinking alcohol. I know. Sit down. Take a deep breath. It's okay.
You do have coffee. It just does not have Mr. Black in it.
It's true. It's true. It's still early morning for us, 12:41 p.m. Look, it's been a great weekend, and at some point we'll podcast about this weekend because we've got, things to talk about.
Yeah.
But that's not what we're talking about today. What are we talking about today?
We're talking about Sexpo Brisbane.
Sexpo.
Yes. So for listeners that are overseas, Sexpo is a convention, an expo. I guess that's part of the name.
It's a sexual health and informative exposition.
Yes. So there's a lot of vendors for. We'll talk about a lot of the different ones that we went to, but there's anything from toys to there were beds there, lubes, shoes,
paintball, motocross.
Yeah,
right, we'll explain.
and they also have stage shows, of course. There are a number of the porn stars. I know there was Miss Nude World was there, different people like that around. So they do have shows on the main stage. There's little side rooms as well, but we'll kind of get to all that as we talk through.
Yeah.
So.
It was. So just to start off with, it was awesome. It was a lot of fun. We were lucky enough to get media passes, which meant that we could sort of roam around and have a little more clout when talking to people and saying, "Hey, would you like to talk to us?" And that was really nice. It was a good experience. So it was up in Brisbane, so we went up there, and then the first day we went with the Lady and the Ginger Tramp.
Yes.
And we had custom-made T-shirts. If you're on Twitter, you saw it. If not, you'll see it again because I'm going to post it probably with this when I upload the podcast.
Except poor Ginger Tramp was missing in that photo.
Yeah, no.
Wah, wah.
We got so excited when we got there, we didn't take a group picture.
Yeah.
So we didn't take our first group picture until the end of the day.
But don't worry, we didn't leave Ginger Tramp out.
No, he was there. But yeah, it was. We were so excited when we got there, we just sort of forgot to take pictures. But I was immediately thinking, oh my God, we are the podcasters from Cooper's book, Approaching the Swingularity. We're those obnoxious people that can only talk about the podcast, and so we were wandering around with a microphone, popping it in people's faces, going, hey. We did get consent because consent is important in all aspects of this lifestyle. The more you know. So, first thoughts. We walk in, we get ourselves organized, and I'm going to be honest, I was immediately a bit overwhelmed. It was big.
Yeah, the convention center up in Brisbane was, I think, a really good space for it. It was good sized, but the way they were able to do the layout was really nice as well.
Because if you've listened to our other podcasts, we podcasted about Sexpo Sydney, I think episode 9. It was ages ago.
Yeah.
And one of the big issues we had with it was it's done in 2 different spaces.
Yeah.
You've got the first indoor space, which has a few vendors, the main stage, and that's all I remember. And then the other indoor area is a lot of the other vendors. Like then you had the shafter, the share room where they do the talks, the informative talks, and it feels disjointed, and all that's connected by an outdoor area. But this one was all in one big room.
And I think I've heard, could be mistaken, that when they come back to Sydney in 2018, that it's going to be in a different venue. So we'll be curious to see how that plays out.
Yeah, I think it's going to be in the new convention center, which is exciting.
Yeah, I was going to say that was, I think, one of the bigger issues we had with it was just the space didn't seem to work.
The other side of that is, in Brisbane, it's very near a train station, so it's very easy to get to. But where it was in Sydney, the only way you could get to it was by bus. So it wasn't
as convenient.
Yeah, it's not as accessible either, and I think that's something that, unfortunately, you have to make things like Sexpo extremely accessible to everybody, or some people are going to be like, I'd go, but it's too much of a pain in the ass, or parking is shit, or blah, 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 excuse. But like where it's going to be next year, it's going to be in Darling Harbour. So it's going to be super easy to get to by plane, train, and automobile. So that'll be nice.
Yeah, I do think that the way the layout was in Brisbane as well, there was the main stage on one far end, and just because of how big it is, the shafter, the big penis ride, was on the other far end. And, there was the laporium, the lap dance room was down near the shafter. And it is one of those things that when you walk in, it's a bit overwhelming just by the number of stalls, and especially during the day and as the evening goes on, how much noise there is, because all these, there's always something going on the main stage. There's something, you get music from the laporium, you get often music. There was the fetish room that was set up, and they would do shows from time to time. And so and then of course all the people. So it is a bit overwhelming, just the people, the noise, all of that, but in a really good way. It's just kind of...
Yeah, it's sensory overload. Like, oh my God!
There were a lot of people that when they first walked in, you could see, like, just take a second, look around, get your bearings. Yeah. Okay, now go.
There was a lot of those deep breaths of, okay, let's do this. So that was great. So we got there, and I think the first thing you and I did was we immediately sort of just wandered around. There was no talking to anybody. We just wanted to see. The way we tend to like to do things like that is you do a very quick pass through the entire venue, and then once you know what you want to see and who you want to talk to, then you sort of plan around and make a schedule to do that. And so I'm trying to think of some of the first things. The first thing we did actually was watch a show.
Yeah.
The lady Ginger Tramp, you and I, we sat down and watched, was it Miss Nude World?
Yeah.
Do a fantastic...
Isabel de Toro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at you, remembering names, like Sexy Rain Man. But yeah, she did this awesome Halo-inspired strip, and then this aerial routine with a hoop up in the air. And that was kind of epic. To take a sidestep from that, one of the things that seemed to be a commonality this time was sort of sci-fi and cosplay. That seemed to have a really nice underlying tone for the show, because she did the strip based on Halo, the video game. Then I think later in the day she did one based on where she starts out as a stormtrooper. And then, of course, you have the cosplay shows that were hosted by Lucie Bee. So a lot of the performances had this sort of cosplay-esque feel to them, which was nice.
And who doesn't like to get dressed up?
I know. Come on. It's awesome. So we, after that, we interviewed, after that performance, we interviewed the lady, Ginger Tramp, as to what they thought of it. And so I guess spoiler alert, like I said, we had a microphone, so we were interviewing people along the way. So we're going to insert. I like intersert, though. I think that should be a word. Hashtag intersert. We're going to insert some of those interviews in this podcast, and so here's the first one. Okay, so we just finished watching our first main stage show, which was Isabella del Toro.
Torre del Toro.
Benicio del Toro. Anyway, Miss Nude World. She did this awesome sort of Halo-inspired strip, and the lady is going to tell us what Halo is.
I have no idea, but she has muscles. Some sort of space thing. I don't know.
It's a video game, hun. It's like one of the biggest video game series in ever.
In space?
It's in space, yes.
Cool. I got that bit right.
So thoughts on the show?
That was just amazing. She has to be so damn strong. It was just joyous to watch.
I was really impressed with her muscles. She's a gorgeous woman anyway, but I don't think there's a bit of fat on her, and her muscle tone makes me a little moist.
Hula hoop from the sky that she climbs and swings around in. That's all you need to know. Just see it.
It was amazing. Yeah, it was stunning. Definitely the lustometer went off. I was like, ding, 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 wah, wah, wah. It was amazing. So yeah, the Ginger Tramp is making an odd face.
There's a man in a kilt with fluffy ear warmers and cat ears on.
Sounds bloody perfect.
Gotta go and see what this is.
All right, we'll catch up soon.
So that was Ginger Tramp Lady.
That was all of our thoughts on the first performance.
What do we do next? It's just sad because this was last weekend.
After that, we wandered around a little bit and checked out a few of the stalls. And I know that you and we went up to talk to the After Dark people.
Oh, yes.
Because, everybody out there knows we love the wipes. They're great. And so we went to talk to them because they have a couple of new products that we wanted to check out.
We were really excited about.
Yeah, so they have the normal wipe packs that we use and take with us as well to the club and whatnot. But they also now have individually packaged, so like little single-use.
So you can throw it in your wallet or your purse or your go bag.
Yeah, so you can throw it in just with a condom if you want to, and you can always be fresh and clean without having to take a big pack with you. So it's a lot more discreet just to have a little something with you there. They have those.
And then they also have, which I'm totally excited about, it's a 100% hemp oil, massage oil.
Hemp seed massage oil.
Hemp seed massage oil. Yeah, hemp oil. Yeah.
It's hard for you to say.
It is. English is really, because I don't have alcohol. This is just caffeine talking. I don't have any alcohol. But yeah, it's a really cool feeling oil. And so we met with Alexis.
It doesn't have a strong smell. It's not overpowering at all. It's really nice.
I'll say what it reminded me of was coconut oil. Using coconut oil, but it didn't have that, because coconut oil has a very distinct smell.
Yeah.
And if you don't feel like smelling like the beach, this was really nice. So Alexis, who is at After Dark, allowed us to put some on our hands and kind of rub it in. I'm doing it right now. I was going to say, if you hear this is
terrible background noise. Terrible.
I can't help it, but it's what I was doing. I'm pantomiming. And it was great because after about 10 minutes, it was all gone. Yeah. And then it also made my hands feel nice and soft and touchable. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. The other kind of awesome thing was they brought, I can't remember how many bottles of this hemp seed oil. But by day 2, they were almost sold out. Yeah. So, that's just, every time we went by their booth, they were fucking covered up, which is awesome. It's good to see a company like that that's that young, so popular. And
they have a good product.
Yeah, so, and moreover, they weren't in a great position in the whole layout of they were in a corner. They were tucked away in a back corner behind Picasso. Hashtag, if you don't know who Picasso is, he paints portraits with his penis. Look him up. Kind of awesome. We didn't get a chance to talk to him, but yeah, it was hilarious. He's at every Sexpo down here. Yeah. He's an amazing guy. But yeah, so they were always covered up with people. They had 3 folks at their booth, and it always seemed like at least 2 of those people were talking to, patrons, customers, whatever, at some point. So yeah, it was great to see them. We talked to Alexis, and here's the interview that we had with Alexis behind their booth.
Okay, so now we are talking to our first product, our first booth. We are at After Dark Intimate Wipes, which everybody knows out there. We absolutely love them.
Yes, they're amazing.
And we're talking with Alexis here.
Hello there.
So tell us about, I guess, how you got started with the After Dark Intimate Wipes, where the idea came from maybe, and then if you've got anything new and exciting to share with us.
Perfect. So me and my business partner were chatting one day of what we use to clean up after sex, especially those late nights where you have a shower, you go to bed, late night you have sex, afterwards you can't be bothered getting up and having a shower. This is where the product came in. So we started developing it and designing it, and about a year of testing, we locked into it and we launched it.
How old is the company?
We're going on to 2 years in September, so it's nearly our birthday, yeah.
Excellent. Happy pre-birthday.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And you've got some new stuff that we've seen on Twitter. We've seen the 100% hemp seed oil massage.
It is. It's actually manufactured and grown here in Queensland, Australia. It's an organic hemp seed massage oil. The reason we call it a massage oil because you can use it for so many things, top to bottom. I use it as a hair treatment, moisturizer, if I'm shaving or waxing as a reliever, so many things, yeah.
Oh, that's exciting. So I'm always excited because I have to admit, I'm a testicle shaver, and I'm always looking for something to put on after I shave because, moisturizer is okay, but it'll be nice to have something real.
Yes, 100%, especially because it's organic. And when I mean organic, it's got nothing else in it. It's 100% cold pressed, unrefined, no alcohol, no parabens, natural.
Oh, so we can cook with it too.
We do not recommend cooking. We'd be sued, unfortunately, by the government if we said it's food grade. But yeah, pretty much each to their own.
Don't cook with it, people. Don't cook with it. You wouldn't want to waste massage oil on cooking anyway. And you guys now have the little travel packs for your wipes.
We do. So we got a lot of feedback from our customers that they wanted something to take with them. Other brands sometimes have microfibers, give women some thrush. So we created a little 10-piece box, and you take them with you on the go. You can fit any men's wallet, any purse. Take them with you. Enjoy. Stay clean.
So you always taste fresh and delicious.
Correct. Always fresh and delicious.
I love it. I love it. Well, do you have anything else I should add?
No, not at the moment.
Because I feel like I'm holding the microphone, so I'm doing all the chatting.
No, I'm just really looking forward to the travel packs because as much as we travel, it'll be awesome to have something to take with you. And not just like long travel, but even just to like a partner's house or to go play with somebody. You go out for the night and you always have something there to be fresh and clean.
Well, we definitely always take a pack with us whenever we travel and whenever we go to play parties. It's something that, you take one down and pass it around, and then everybody's fresh and clean.
Exactly, and we love you guys. So you're always close to our heart, and we appreciate the relationship we have in place. So love you very much.
Excellent, and we love you too. And that was After Dark Intimate Wipes. Alexis, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Take care.
Bye-bye.
All right, so that was our visit with After Dark and Intimate Wipes.
After Dark Intimate Wipes. I just love it.
I know.
It's fun to say. I want to say it like sexy style. After Dark Intimate Wipes. Clean all your naughty places and make them nice. I wonder. I need to do a commercial for them. That'd be great.
Be awesome. So yeah, I was trying to think of what we did after that. So, as I know, we kind of just wandered around to some of the different booths, and I'm trying to think of where exactly. Because at some point we stopped to get lunch and get a bite to eat.
Yeah, because we were starving.
Yeah, but I know that we went to. I think it was on the first day that we went to the J.O.
Oh my God, yes.
Their booth. Holy crap.
Okay, so let's just take a step back. This is a lube company. Yes. I mean, what do they make? They make lube. J.O. actually stands for jack off, and so now it's J.O. lube. They've been around for a while, but I honestly didn't even realize they existed until, again, I knew they existed, but we didn't really care about them.
We've used they make, actually what we do use from them, they make some nice small travel-sized bottles of lube, and that's most of the time what we used were the small travel-sized bottles.
So, but they had this, I'm going to say it's a gimmick, but gimmicks is a bad word. This was a genius idea.
Oh, it was great marketing.
It was absolutely genius, where they had an ice cream machine. And they were dispensing little cups of vanilla ice cream, and then they had a lube bar where you would put the lube on the ice cream, and then you could mix it in and eat the ice cream, and it was flavored ice cream. Because
so they have 22 different flavors of lube, and it's edible. It's completely fine. And so that's what they were doing. It was, you could try whichever flavor of lube you wanted on the ice cream, and they do have those are of course all water based. They do have silicone lubes, and they've got a whole range of other products.
Don't eat the silicone lube.
But everybody's focused around the ice cream machine and the flavored lubes because it's kind of fantastic.
It was genius. I mean, it really was genius. And I was just kind of looking up to see if I could give examples of their flavors. I know we ended up purchasing.
There was the mint chocolate. There was it a caramel chocolate, maybe something like that.
Yeah, there was some really.
But then there's pomegranate, there's raspberry, cherry,
pineapple, mango.
Yeah, there's a regular mint.
Coffee, some kind of espresso, chocolate mocha espresso.
But there were 17, I think, regular flavors and 5 of the gelato range or something, their special range.
And there was some weird flavors, like watermelon, which sounds bizarre, but was delicious.
Well, you remember the watermelon bubble gum when you were a kid. You blow the big bubbles.
And I think that's it's a good point, because maybe that's where that came from.
Yeah.
But it's just, I absolutely.
Was it the Hubba Bubba? Is that the one?
Was it? Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, it was such a cool idea to.
Oh, it was great marketing.
To get people to try, literally, your lubes.
And they were always busy. I mean, there were always tons of people there because, who doesn't want ice cream? Come on.
Yeah.
And lube.
Yeah, tiramisu, strawberry kisses, watermelon, raspberry, cherry, tropical passion, pineapple, tangerine. I mean, it goes on and on.
Mm-hmm.
Green apple. It's just I loved it. It was great. And we ended up coming home with mint chocolate, and one other.
There was a caramel one.
Was it the caramel chocolate one?
I think so.
And so fantastic, because this was our logic. Let's say you're in a group sex sort of setting. Let's just say.
It happens from time to time.
It does happen from time to time. And then maybe somebody goes down on somebody and somebody else goes down on somebody else, and your breath isn't the freshest. If everybody's using mint lube, everybody's going to both smell and taste like mint. It's going to be awesome. So it was, we decided to get some, and I'm kind of excited now. We need to have group sex.
I know. Need to have a few people over.
We need to have a fucking party. Actually, we should do a lube party.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Who wants to come to our lube party? Who wants to come at our lube party?
I was going to say, we can set up the inflatable and have newer massage as well.
Holy shit balls. We're going to have we'll move the dining room table out. We can put it outside and then put the lube. Oh.
Yep.
Fucking sign me up.
Next party.
We're gonna get Strata involved. We need to work on this. So anyway, great job by the Joe people. There was a lot of
and also, besides the really great marketing and the ice cream machine and whatnot, the people were really nice to talk to.
They were great. They were really helpful.
They knew the product.
Yeah. And it was funny because the one guy who we were talking to, who was super cute.
He was adorable.
Oh my God. Pack him up and take him home. Yeah. He was like, oh, this one's my favorite. No, actually, this one's my favorite. No, this one's my favorite. And he kept giving us flavors to try. And we're like, can you just come home with us? Because you're my favorite. So it was great. So we left them.
And then we headed down towards the Shafter ride.
Oh, yes.
Because the lady and so we had ridden it in Sydney, and the lady and Ginger Tramp had not. And it was, it's one of those things. It's gimmicky, it's cheesy as hell, but at the same time, you almost have to do it. Yeah,
it's. And I'm going to be honest, if you don't do it, you're probably a better person.
It's terrible,
It's better from the outside than it is the inside. And part of that has to do with what you can legally show to vanilla people in a public location.
Fair enough.
But I don't know. It is a gimmick.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It's $5 to ride, and it's. I'm sorry, it's just not worth it. It's interesting.
It's entertaining, but I actually find more value in listening to the extremely vanilla people in line to hear what their expectations are and all the jokes and things they're making about it. And then before it starts up, when you're sitting there, you're in this little enclosed space with everybody, so of course you hear all the comments. And I think it's more fun just to listen to people talk about it and the anticipation of it.
True. And then when it's over, they're like, wait, what? What just happened? I feel violated. So we got off the shafter. Mm-hmm. Got off. That's a whole big thing to unpack right there.
Yep.
So we got off the shafter, and then we had a quick moment with the lady and Ginger Tramp to see what they thought. And here's their opinions of the shafter.
All right, we're back here with L0l0 Lady and the Ginger Tramp. We just got off the shafter, the penis ride. Lady, what did you think?
I think someone needs to go back into the Happy Harold van and learn how sperm actually works.
That's pretty harsh. Sitting inside that thing, that's got a certain dank smell about it. But you're inside of a big penis, so I don't know what I was expecting.
I was a little concerned that the inside of the penis had a fire extinguisher.
That's in case it burns when you pee. Yeah, so that was a big giant penis ride.
That was certainly an experience.
So my favorite part about the whole thing was standing outside of it before, and the roadie carny guys were trying to fix it, and they're talking with their hands. We couldn't hear a thing that they were saying, but the Ginger Tramp and I discovered that when they used their hands to describe how to fix it, it was as if they were describing sex. There was lots of fingers and fists and groping and touching that looked like they were doing. Any final thoughts on the shafter?
I want my $5 back.
Same.
Aw, I enjoyed it. I mean, it's loud and my seat vibrated, but, you know.
The bass and the music was kind of awesome on the seat.
I know, right?
You got a little vibration coming through there.
Yeah. See?
Okay, I'll take it back.
You enjoyed it. Yeah, I had some tingling in my naughty bits too. All right.
Yeah, so we all had an experience.
Yes, we did. But so we did, after, that was, I guess, maybe midway through the afternoon at that point, and we wandered around a bit more, visited some other booths. Of course, we stopped by Lucie Bee both that day and
on day two.
Day two, and we they're near Lucie Bee's booth, or I guess it was kind of just behind part of that little square. There was a company called Geeky Sex Toys.
Yeah.
And so we talked to them on day two. We'll get to that in a bit. But I was just trying to go through some of the other booths that were there that we saw.
Yeah, so some of the other great booths, and we talked to them on day two, which we'll get there. But one of them that we didn't talk to was the L0l0 guy.
Oh, yeah.
So I remember seeing the L0l0 dolls, 15 years ago. Yeah. They're full silicone, human-ish dolls that have 3 holes. The men probably only have 2 holes, but... they make male and female love dolls. Mm-hmm. And on day one, we saw the guy. So it's a great idea. I mean, it is a great idea, but it's the booth was a bit sparse. Mm-hmm. I felt like he needed a little more because all he had was a couch, a banner, a computer, and a single love doll. And she was, what's the word I'm looking for? Creepy.
She was tiny.
Yeah, she
was.
You know what made me think of? Do you remember the movie Communion? Do you remember? It was a television show. It was a book first about this. There was a, air quotes, true story about this man who was abducted by aliens. And it was his experience. Well, they made a movie out of it, blah, 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 blah. But it's those little gray-headed aliens that everybody knows with the big black eyes and the little mouths. Mm-hmm. And, like, they stand 3.5, 4 feet tall, and they're thin, that's what she reminded me of. Mm-hmm. A very busty little gray man alien.
Yes, she was very busty, but she was also very tiny. And I'm assuming, I don't know, I should probably look it up, but I'm assuming they come in different sizes because otherwise she's almost like small teenager size.
It was gross.
Except for big, huge boobs.
Yeah, yes, exactly.
But I guess at the same time, if all you're really interested in are the holes in the boobs, then the rest of her doesn't matter that much.
Wow. way to objectify the love doll.
It's a love doll. What are you supposed to do with it?
That's great. Look, it's an interesting idea. They're expensive. They're like, I think he said between $3,000 and $4,500. But but they're also silicone, and they like he was telling us that they could heat them up because they've got heater things in them, so they feel warm, which that's kind of cool. But I think that was the company as well that can also put the AI in them so that they moan according to what you're doing. So yeah, I mean it's an interesting thing. So yeah, but touching her, he's like, oh, touch her, and you're touching her, and you're like, this feels like a human-sized fleshlight, which arguably that's what it is. Yeah. But it was interesting, to say the least. So yeah, I think that's pretty much the way day one went. That was, like I said, there was a lot of us. Well, we did also, I should say, we went and saw the first heat of the cosplay, the cosplay competition, which was kind of awesome. I'm trying to find my notes on that because it started out. Lucie was in her Game of Thrones costume. And I'm terrible at Game of Thrones, but it's the blonde lady in Game of Thrones, the one with all the dragons. That's who she was. I don't watch Game of Thrones. Don't judge. But that's who she was. I recognized who she was. That was at least something. But there was 6 people in that heat. One of the things I loved was they were playing a song during most of it that was. I've only got my only note is it was a Doctor Who song, and it was Doctor Who, but it was like they were playing off of another classic like 90s rock song. So that was great.
I don't remember which song was playing.
Yeah, so Lucie Bee was there. The ones that I actually wrote down the notes of the competitors, I missed who the first one was, and I got to be honest, I probably should have recognized it, but I didn't. But then there was the Overwatch Witch Mercy, who my note on her was she is fucking badass.
Yeah, that was an awesome costume.
This was as they were coming out. I was like, holy shit, she is fucking badass. Yeah. Looked just like it was amazing. Then there was a Pokemon character, which again I don't really do Pokemon, but and what I loved about it was it had accidental cleavage, kind of funny. Then there was a Cleopatra looking character, which I recognized from something, but anyway. And then there was this beautiful Amazonian looking cosplay that was clearly hand sewn, and it was just really nice, well done. And then the only guy up there was Spider-Man, just in his spider webbed underwear, which was just kind of funny. But I liked his take on it because he was like, well, there was a comic where Spider-Man loses his costume and he's naked and he webs himself.
So he had on the webbed underwear and then just the mask, the head part.
So it was kind of
and then
funny.
The rest of him was naked. Yeah, it was cute.
And of course, Witch Mercy won. And that was kind of awesome.
Yeah. So that was the first heat, and then there was another heat later in the day,
which we missed.
And then was there a third heat on Sunday before the finals, or was it just the finals on Sunday?
No, there was just the finals on Sunday.
Yeah, so there were several heats of that. And it's just always fun to see people dressed up, and I know, and this is skipping ahead a little, but on Sunday, I saw more people in costume walking around Sexpo than I did on Saturday. Yeah. But, because there's a whole range of people at Sexpo. Yeah. And I don't know if you want to talk about that now or
not.
Well,
we can. There was in that range, it's clear that there's a pretty strong cosplay. I think it's funny because for me, I think, and this is personal opinion, that like cosplay is a lot like band camp. Like, let's be realistic. These are people. We're kids. We're people that we're a bit on the fringe of reality, of normalcy, I should say. And so there's a lot of whenever you get a group of people that all share a very similar passion for something, sex is easy, and sexual experimentation is easy. And so I think that's, for me, how cosplay and Sexpo goes together. It's very similar to the way band camp and I stuck a flute up my pussy kind of goes together. I mean, it that's just how it is. And I think, at least for us growing up, the band kids were the freakiest sexually of them all. Yeah. It was great. Yeah. But Yeah, so there is a very wide variety of people.
So you also get, some of the fetish people that are in, maybe latex, leather, not as much latex. I guess it's a little more leather that you tend to see around there. But they clearly more geared towards the fetish side of things. You get, just your everyday people wandering around, which is the majority of the people.
Yeah, I would say the vast majority, probably 80% of the people look like everybody that you would see at the grocery store.
Yeah, and a lot of them you can tell have been before.
Yeah.
Because they may, they'll kind of head towards certain areas or booths or whatever. And then there's a lot of new people who clearly at first seem a little overwhelmed by it all. And it is interesting because I know Mr. Adam mentioned earlier about having the paintball booths and there was like a motocross one.
Yeah.
And it's, at first you're like, what does that have to do with Sexpo? But then you kind of realize that I think what they're targeting there, and I could be off base, but I would say it's more, if one partner wants to go, and generally the female wants to go, and the male partner may not know what to do, or you may not know, it's kind of a way to draw them in and get them interested in something.
Yeah, no, I tend to agree. Yeah, so that was...
Because also we went to, this just hit me, sorry. On that first day, we ended up in the male review lounge for a little bit.
That was funny.
That was funny. Yeah.
It's, again, it's a great idea. It's just you're really limited as to what you can do because it's in a public venue. But it was kind of interesting to see they got, at one point, 3 regular guys up there to do lap dances for women, 3 regular, they didn't know each other.
Not their partners.
Not their partner women. And that was just kind of hilarious to see them do that.
They had a couple of dancers they were dancing on the stage, or performers, I guess they were dancing on the stage and doing lap dances for girls. They brought 3 women up at some point, and they had the fake orgasm contest.
Yes.
Where the women had to fake an orgasm and see who could do the best.
So my big issue with that, too, was that first lady who was like, oh, my God, I do this all the time. And I'm like, oh, my God, see, you're what's wrong with women. Like, I do this all the time. I'm an expert at faking an orgasm. I'm like, all right, well, then you're clearly not doing a lot of things right. It's like, wait, do you fake orgasms with your vibrator? I just really want my vibrator to feel good about itself. So, yeah, I fake it.
It's got to make her partner feel great, right?
I know, right? It's like, well, that was the other thing. I'm like, I really hope your partner's not here. Because I don't know if she was saying it ironically, but it didn't come off as ironic. It didn't come off as a joke. It came off as, I fake my orgasms.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Sad face. And really, her faked orgasm wasn't that good. Which...
She needs to practice a little more. Is that what you're saying?
Maybe you should have a few more fake orgasms. I don't know. Just give it a go, sweetheart. I'll stop being mean. And so then one of the last things we saw that day was Lucie Bee's actual strip.
Yes.
Which was awesome. So we were lucky enough to be backstage for that. And so she was in her Game of Thrones. See, guys don't even know what it's called. Game of Thrones costume. I really probably should know who that lady is. But I have a couple of notes on Lucie Bee, which the first one is, that girl has the pertest nipples I have ever seen. Like, as soon as her shirt comes off, her nipples are like, pew, like cut diamond or cut glass with those things.
Very perky.
Beautiful. I have a massive crush on her. But yeah, they're perky as hell. But then every time she turns away from the audience, she's mouthing the lyrics to her song. And so, but it was like this Jekyll and Hyde thing. She'd be looking at the audience and she's doing this sultry, grr, I'm sexy kind of look. And then she would turn around and she'd be singing along with it, kind of bebopping. And then she would do this quick turn back to the audience and it was like, I'm sexy and I'm not singing my own lyrics. And then she'd look away from him and go, I'm singing. It was great. That's basically all I remember.
I think that's awesome though, because it shows that she's really into whatever the song is and whatever she's doing, because it does match up very well, and so it seems to me that would help you get into character a lot.
Oh,
better,
I agree.
so.
I agree. And her strips are great.
Oh,
they're engaging. They're entertaining. I know we've talked about her when she was at Hellfire as Harley Quinn.
Yep.
And she's so much fun to watch on stage because she's clearly enjoying herself. She's having a good time. She doesn't really care. It's like she wants the audience to be entertained, but she's not like
But you're also having fun with it.
Yeah, she's not pandering to the audience. It's so much fun to watch her. So that was day 1.
Yeah.
So should we fast forward to day 2?
Sure.
Okay. That's fun. Hey, look, people won't let me Yoda rap anymore, so I've got to do shit like that. So day 2 was for us more of let's get this shit down to business day. We did a lot of interviews and talking to people. One of the first interviews we did was the Lucie Bee. So we went over to her booth. We got there early, so we went over to her booth before everything started going crazy, and talked to her for a bit. And I think we spent a lot of time at her booth both days, just because the people who work her booth are amazing folks.
And Jimmy the Geek, he had fantastic costumes.
Yeah, on the first
So
day
funny.
he was, because Lucie Bee, if you don't know who she is, she does fantastic, awesome cosplays, and then all the folks in her booth do fantastic, awesome cosplays.
And it's also, so as a side note, their booth is a place where if you need a break and you're kind of a little overwhelmed or just want to get away for a minute, you can go over there, and they had
Mario Kart.
Yeah, they have video games set up, so you can just sit down and play for a bit.
They had Mario Kart set up. They had Metroid Prime set up. I was giving her hell. I was like, "Girl, you need to be sponsored by Nintendo." But yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, because the first day Jimmy was dressed as the Undertaker, the classic WWF wrestler. Yes, WWF, because it was before they went to WWE. Kentucky upbringing. Anyway, and on second day he was I can't think of his name all of a sudden, from MST3K. So the main guy from Mystery Science Theater 3000, and he was carrying around a little handmade Tom Servo, which was epic.
It was awesome.
I loved it. And talking to Lucy, we talked to her about what her thoughts were on Sexpo, and this is our interview with Lucie Bee.
All right, we're here now with the gorgeous Lucie Bee. And she's currently still getting a little dressed, but that's all right.
Yeah, it's always awesome to go see Lucy, and the first thing she does is take her top off. Thanks.
Yeah, it's like I was saying to you guys earlier, when I first came to Sexpo, I used to run off to the bathrooms to get changed, and now I've got to this point where I'm just getting changed on the booth in front of people who are just wandering by, and I'm like, well, you came to Sexpo. Nudity is an expectation here.
Agreed. We'd be sad if we didn't get any.
Absolutely. That's what we're here for.
So how many Sexpos have you done?
So this is probably, in the format we've been doing sort of with the geeky craziness and stuff like that, this is my third or my fourth. My fourth, I think. But before that, I'd exhibited with my friend Kim. And then before that, I actually worked as a volunteer at Sexpo as well. And then I'd also been here with other porn companies, so it's been me at this point, so it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, this is our second Sexpo, but we're kind of addicted to it by now. So yeah. On a little bit different note, your cosplays are always amazing, and you're currently being dressed as
Red Sonja from Dynamite Comics.
Sploosh.
Yeah, see, the good thing is, most of the stuff I bring to Sexpo, some of it's done, some of it's a work in progress. And it's I don't know, every time I wear a cosplay, it's like road testing it. It's a stress test. That's what I'm looking for. Stress test. So I see exactly what works and what goes wrong. And then I attack it with all sorts of other adhesives later on before I wear it out again. But it's cool because I couldn't necessarily wear this one at another convention, and if I can't wear it at other cons, I'm wearing it for a photo shoot, and that's the end of it. And when you put so much time into something, it's sort of you want the chance to wear it out more than once. So that's what I love about sort of having the cosplay here at Sexpo, because yeah, I say it a lot, but there's been a history of dressing up at Sexpo since its inception. You know, like people sort of arrive plain clothed, and then by the end of the evening they're wearing, you know, lingerie or corsets, or they've had their, you know, their tits painted in glitter. You know, so I think bringing the geek side of things was like a natural extension of all that.
And it's awesome. I love that you do that. It's really kind of refreshing to have that sort of, you make geekdom sexy. And that's what's really, I think, a lot of us that grew up, thank you. I oftentimes look at 15-year-old me and I'm like, oh, see, you can be geeky and still cool.
And it's also great, the cosplay competition. There are the different heats, and so if you come at different times, you know, if you're here earlier in the day or later in the day, you can still see some of that cosplay competition. So it gets it out there for more people to be exposed to it as well. And there's some really fantastic costumes on there.
A lot of love on that stage. You could really tell. A lot of time and love and effort.
Yeah, it's amazing, and it's like, it's so cool that people have sort of stepped up and got behind it and stuff like that, and there's so many different representations of sexy as well. Like, I think people always assume that, you know, when they think about Sexpo and cosplay, like, oh, it's going to be the girl with the fittest body wearing the least amount of clothing, and no, I mean, we've had, our winner from Perth was wearing this amazing bodysuit with, like, this cape, and it was Spawn, and it was just fantastic, and she'd made that herself. And it was just like one of the most covered things on the stage that day, you know what I mean? But it's sort of about how people, you know, describe sexy and what it means to them as well as anything. And also I think, you know, opening Sexpo up to, you know, I was really geeky in high school. I'm still geeky now, but I was awkward as hell, and I probably never would have considered coming to something like Sexpo back in those days. I wouldn't have thought it was somewhere I could be. Right? And now we're opening it up and making it sort of really clear that everybody is welcome and giving access to people that perhaps before may not have had it. And I think that's really, really important. And then it means that you get awesome exhibitors like Geeky Sex Toys. Oh my God, I love them so much.
We're talking to them next.
Yes, and like get everything. They gave me a Scooby-Doo dildo the other day. It goes with my Velma. We'll be shooting some porn with that, I can tell you.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so where can people find you when you're not at Sexpo?
On the internet.
I hear they have that on computers now.
No, usually on Twitter at Lucie Bee XXX, and they'll know because you and I, you know, we chat, you guys. But also, I'm going to be doing a performance in September at an event called Rule 34, so you guys have to come.
We will definitely be there.
It's going to be amazing, and I think it'll be right up your alley. I think you'll enjoy it. And then also we'll be doing some interesting stuff with Penthouse Magazine in the next few months, and some interesting porn soon, but I can say no more. But I'll tell you about it, I promise. You'll be the first to know.
We're so excited, and we'll be the first to tell everybody else. I mean, not that they won't hear it straight from you, but, you know, our people will hear it from us.
From you.
All right, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much, Lucie Bee. We'll talk to you again soon.
So I love talking to her.
Yeah, she's really sweet.
Yeah, sweet, intelligent. Yeah, great, awesome. Keep watching her. She's gonna do awesome stuff. So yeah, that was fun. And talking about some of her other costumes, she does a really great, and she did a really great Thelma from Scooby-Doo. Love that.
I like that costume.
It's great. But yeah, and again, all the folks at her booth are so sweet and friendly, nice people. So.
And after that, we turned the corner and talked to the Geeky Sex Toy people.
Yes.
But we need to tell you about some of their toys, first of all, because it's kind of awesome.
I just love it. So, yeah, I didn't realize that their stuff is basically handmade.
Yeah.
So,
and they're around Brisbane as well.
Yeah, and they're made out of Brisbane.
In that area.
We'll talk about some of their products because I think we told most of their story in their interview. But so the first thing, of course, that I saw was these Guardians of the Galaxy inspired sex toys, like this. What's his name, Dax? But I think they called it Dix, Dixx. This giant dildo, which was awesome. They had I think Rocky is what they call it, because it was all so they don't, no copyright infringement, but it was clearly,
it was always a play on the name.
It's a play on the name, but it was a butt plug that was like a raccoon tail. It was just awesome shit like that. Loved it. They have swords made from that are made into dildos, but they got the handle, a few Game of Thrones inspired ones, the Legend of Zelda one, the Master Sword.
That one was awesome.
I loved it. I mean,
Yeah.
I was
We'll
so
get
close.
that one day.
Yeah, I was so close to buying it. We wouldn't actually use it for sex. We would have it on a little rack, like right there at the end of the table. I think that'd be awesome. And that was one of our suggestions to them was you guys have got to build showcases for
like
these.
a stand
for these so people can show them off. But we did end up purchasing a lightsaber inspired dildo that when you click the button it glows bright red like said lightsaber. It was so awesome. What an awesome company.
And it's interesting too because a lot of the dildos and the toys, many of them come in either smooth or veiny.
Yes.
And so you do get a choice as to, how it feels. And, because different people are going to want different things.
Yep.
But they're so much fun. And like Mr. Adams said, some of them I know we'll end up with and use some of them, and some of them are just going to be for show.
Yeah. I love the sword from Hyrule. Yeah. I want that. I don't ever want to use it sexually, but I just sort of think it'd be kind of awesome.
Right, circumstance maybe.
Okay, fine. Let me sheath my sword. But yeah, fantastic quality, and here's a quick interview with them.
Okay, we are here with two folks from Geeky Sex Toys, which I'm going to say wins my prize for my favorite booth at Sexpo.
Awesome. That's what we want to hear.
Excellent. So tell us a little bit about Geeky Sex Toys, where it came about, and what you guys do exactly.
So about 12 months ago, we were looking for a lightsaber dildo online, and we couldn't find one anywhere. So we said, all right, Emma, I got an idea. It's pretty crazy, but let's make sex toys. And from there, we just started making sex toys for geeks.
I love it. And they are. So we're going to take a few pictures if that's all right. And of course, post them all around.
And at that stage, we didn't know how to make a sex toy, didn't know the first step. And Josh came home with a box of silicone and some clay, clayed up a prototype, and we just went from there.
Wait, so when you say you make sex toys, you literally, like in your garage, make sex toys?
Yep, from scratch, handmade everything. Everything here is handmade by us.
So we've what would you say, design, how do you say that?
So 3D model, so we have a 3D model or a hand sculpt out of clay, and then we make a mold, and then we cast them up.
And then every day I pour silicone and make toys.
That's fantastic.
I had no idea. That's amazing.
It sounds like such a fun job.
It's the best job in the world.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And where are you guys based out of?
So in Brisbane, Redcliffe.
Okay. And do you have a brick and mortar store, or are you just online mostly?
Yeah, just online.
Okay. And that website is?
www.geekysextoys.com.
All right, and of course we've been tagging them in our Twitter posts, so definitely check them out. What is your favorite personal sex toy that you guys make?
I'm going to go with the Master Sword.
From Zelda.
Yes.
Yeah, badass. I love it. And yours?
It's got to be the original, the lightsabers. You can't go past a light up dildo.
Well, they're easy to find in the dark. They don't get lost under the bed.
And it's great for glow parties.
Holy shit balls. I love it. Excellent. Well, thank you guys so much for talking with us, and good luck. Have fun.
Cool. Thanks for coming.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so that was the folks at Geeky Sex Toys.
Mm-hmm.
They're a nice couple as well. What next? Ooh.
We went down to talk to the Kinky Boots people.
Yes, Kinky Boots.
Yes.
Kinky Boots and Stuff, I think was that.
Kinky Boots and Bits.
Bits, there you go. Kinky Boots and Bits.
Yep.
We talked to them for a bit. They badass shoes.
Yeah, they had some really great shoes, boots, all of it. And I love my shoes and boots, but I have to wait a little bit before I'm allowed to buy any more. So I restrained myself and did not come away from Sexpo with any more shoes and boots. It was hard.
It was, yeah, she cried almost.
Yeah. But they had some really great stuff. It was so tempting.
There was a couple I saw.
We'll revisit at some point.
And they actually had a pair of boots that I liked. Unfortunately, they were size 12 American, and I'm a size 9 American. So I could put my tennis shoes inside there and then maybe wear them. And the guy actually joked with me. He goes, "You might be able to put your regular shoes in there and still wear them." I'm like, good point. But I decided to pass on that. But it was kind of awesome because they were selling them so cheap because they didn't want to have to take them back home. Which, fair enough. But yeah, I was kind of bummed that they didn't have my size. But good quality stuff, interesting stuff.
Yeah, some really different things, which is nice.
Cool shoes.
Yeah. So we talked to them. And do you want to say any more before we play that?
No. Let's just play that.
Okay.
Okay, so here we are at Kinky Boots and Bits, and we're actually talking about not kinky boots, but the bits. It's a LibSyn. What'd you say? It was vegan, organic. Tell me a little more about the LibSyn, and then we'll talk about the boots here in a second.
Okay, yeah, so the LibSyn's vegan, it's gluten-free, and it doesn't come off. It lasts up to 18 hours, and it's no animal testing. They do not test on animals because we humans can wear it with no problems because it's good for your skin because it's from plant materials and from Vanuatu.
That's awesome. And of course, the ever-important question.
Does it last through a blowjob?
Indeed it does.
That's important. But we actually came over here. I mean, the lipstick is great, don't get me wrong. But we came over here because of this amazing variety of badass shoes, boots, heels, both men and women. This is awesome. So tell us a little bit about your product and then where people can find your product.
Okay, so we created the company the business is about 16 years ago. It was just a sideline thing, but we wanted a business that had the wow factor, that catered for everyone, reasonable prices, and that we were very customer focused. We focus 100% on our customers. If you're not happy, we have a returns policy. We've got sizes as small as 5 US, right up to 16 in some sizes, in some styles. And yeah, we like to make people happy and wear whatever they like and feel comfortable whatever they wear.
So what made you get into it? Why boots and shoes?
Something different, and I could put my personality into it along with my husband and just branch out as far as we could go.
There some badass stuff. You see a lot of steampunk things. They've got a pair of look like Converse heels, which are just awesome. I can really imagine a schoolgirl outfit with the Converse heels.
Yeah, I'd say the variety of boots and shoes, I could be spending a lot of money here. This is dangerous because there's such a variety of, you've got, the ones with the flames, you've got the combat looking boots, you've got, the nice clear heels, there's the Converse ones that Mr. Adam was talking about. There's some lovely black and white shoes that I really like.
I really like, it looks like Elphaba's shoes over there, like they're green sparklies.
Yep, and I was gonna say there's a lot of sparkly boots as well too, which are kind of fantastic.
Yeah.
This is dangerous.
Yeah, and where can people find you?
Okay, so we are located on the Tweed Coast in far north of New South Wales in a little coastal town called Pottsville Beach, but we do go from all over nationwide Australia, so we don't just locate ourselves in our little coast. We do go up to Brisbane, anywhere. We do go to Sexpos. We're currently at Brisbane Sexpo and trying to, fit everyone out with their kinky shoes. So, we're close. We're nationwide, as I say, and we're primarily online. But we do arrange to see people by appointment at our private residence. Tweed Coast, Pottsville Beach.
Awesome. We're going to have to definitely make an appointment, I think.
Yep, and you can find them online at www.kinkyboots.com.au.
Excellent. Go find your shoes there. Badass stuff.
All right, and that was the folks from Kinky Boots and Bits. Mostly online, like you just heard. But yeah, check out their website, and they ship all over Australia. Cool stuff.
Yeah.
Then we were lucky enough to get to meet with the man behind Sexpo. Bentleigh Gibson is his name. He's been the event manager for the last couple of years. Really nice guy, really, really busy man. So we were very lucky to score some time with him, and we sat down with him in a nice little, one of the few quiet places in Sexpo where you couldn't hear all the oomch, 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 or the or the woo, or the bzzz. It was great. But here's that interview with Bentleigh.
Welcome back, folks. We are here with the event manager, I believe, the man behind Sexpo. Let's just say that. Bentleigh Gibson. We're really excited to have an opportunity to sit down and chat with you about, Sexpo. So tell us, how long have you been affiliated with Sexpo?
2 years. I started in May of 2015. In fact, Brisbane, this event 2 years ago, was my first event that I managed solo under my new management team and myself.
Ooh, happy anniversary.
Thank you very much. 2 years and we're back again.
Excellent. That's awesome. That's awesome. So I'm imagining that putting on a conference or a show of this size that's a big undertaking. So can you kind of walk us through, like, how long does it take to make this baby, come to life?
Yeah, look, it can take to do it really well and right, you'd need anywhere from 6 to 12 months. You could do it in as little as 3, but you're running a risk of cutting it a little bit too fine. So a good event planner will plan anywhere from 6 to 12 months out. Having said that, the booking for the venue is in place well in advance, 2 years in advance, but the planning generally begins about 1 year out.
Okay, wow, that's actually longer than I expected as well. That's why I'm not an events planner.
I can't imagine the amount of organization that has to go into it, not only to, like you said, to secure the venue, but then to organize all of the vendors and the exhibitions and everything is just amazing.
Well, there's so many different stakeholders involved in the event, right through from your naming rights sponsors, right through down to housekeeping of the venue, exhibitors, patrons, of course, media, staff, speakers, performers. There's so many layers to this event, and my job is to know every single layer inside out and the function of every single person within those layers.
That's just amazing. I love it. So how big is your team? Or is this a one-man kind of show?
You'd be surprised. The full-time team in the office is 3 people. All right.
Wow, that just 3. And where are you guys based out of?
Melbourne. But on game day, so on event day, of course, we have up to 200 support staff across the entire event, ranging from security, backstage crew, cleaners, catering, temporary staff members that I need to execute my requirements on the floor, up to 200 people.
Holy smokes, that's amazing. That's awesome. Yeah, that's remarkable, the amount of moving pieces, I guess, in this game of chess that you're playing. So tell us about how exactly did you get into Sexpo?
My life before this was primarily based around project management and smaller micro event management, experiential activations, and smaller events for a lot of Australia's leading brands. I spent a lot of time in venues like we are in today, the Brisbane Convention Centre, all around Australia, conducting those events. But I got burnt out after about 12 years, took some time off and came back into the industry and managed to fortuitously land this job, this great gig of event manager for Sexpo.
How lucky is that?
I know, that's fantastic.
It's like those jobs that you really want in life, and you're like, oh, I'm just the event manager for Sexpo.
Look, it's a great job. It's a great job. However, what the people don't see is the 12 months of grind and planning that goes into this. And that's fine. That's the way it should be, because we just seek to deliver an amazing event for our patrons. And all I want them to see are the colours and the music, and feel the music, hear it, listen to it, taste the environment, and really immerse themselves in the event.
Well, there's definitely some tasting of the environment. We've got the Joe, the booth, who is putting lube on ice cream, which we had that yesterday. Very nice. We'd never seen anything like that before. But it's definitely, the immersion is definitely there. We walk in and we're instantly sort of, I don't want to say inundated, because I think that's a bad word, but it's a fully immersive kind of experience.
Well, we really try to titillate, right?
Pun intended.
Every sense of the body, through taste, feel, smell, sight, everything. So the moment you walk through those doors, you are almost overwhelmed in a way with just the environment and the ambience that you're walking into. But once you settle down, gather your thoughts, it's a very enjoyable experience coming to a Sexpo.
Yeah, we're really excited because we're actually here today with a couple of friends, and it's his first time ever to any kind of Sexpo or any kind of convention like this. And so we're really excited to talk to him afterwards and sort of like, because I think he was a little dizzy when he first walked in. He's like, holy smokes, and it's exactly what you're saying. You walk in, you're like, whoa. But then we saw him again right before speaking with you, and he was just grinning ear to ear.
Yeah, I bet. And that's quite often the way. You see them walk in, and a few hours later you see them exit with the smiles on their face. And that's where I get my satisfaction from for being in this job, is to see that. Is to see those patrons laughing and smiling, carrying shopping bags, walking out with their bits and pieces and then their purchases, and coming in with their groups, family, friends, partners, whatever the case might be. It's an environment for all, really.
Yeah, we've definitely seen. It's really nice. We were. I mean, growing up, you'd go into a sex store and be like, "Oh Lord, you don't go into one of them." But to see everybody just sort of perusing and talking about the toys, and especially toys and clothing in particular, you see people trying stuff on, and this is right out in the open. It's such a great, liberating feeling.
Well, in the early days, in the mid-90s, when we first launched Sexpo, Australia was still a reasonably sexually conservative country. Still is to a certain extent. So we really tested those boundaries in the early days by putting on a show like this, and the compliance that we had to go through in those early days just to get the venues for a show like this was incredible. There's some urban legends and urban myths that gets passed down from event manager to event manager. And I think I'm the fourth event manager of Sexpo after 21 years, and I've heard all the stories that have gotten passed down. I think they've been embellished a little bit from time to time, but the premise of the story stays true, which is it was hard going in the early days. But now we're mainstream, we've been accepted. Sexpo is essentially, it's a household brand now. It has incredible equity behind it, and we're in a great position today.
And it's great. We know a lot of our friends all know, you say Sexpo and they're like, oh man, I wish I could go, or oh, you're so lucky to get to go, et cetera, et cetera.
So what was your, I'm going to say, biggest hurdle or an unexpected surprise when you took over managing for Sexpo? Was there anything that you didn't really expect early on and you're like, oh wow, that's so different?
Well, to be a bit personal about it, I thought I was quite sexually well adjusted before I took this gig, but I have learnt an incredible amount about the industry we're in, and essentially the depth of the industry. Pretty much if you want to find it, you can find it. It exists. There's something there for almost everybody. And we have a bit of a sort of a golden rule: as long as it's safe, consensual and legal, you'll find it. And if it makes you happy, enjoy it. So just the sheer depth of the industry, I think, is what was my biggest surprise when I first took over the industry. Or the show, I should say, yeah.
Take over the industry. I like that. You've got big goals.
I'm optimistic for my future.
One day, all this will be yours. So you've got multiple Sexpos then, kind of, I guess, in the oven, because we just did Perth a few months ago. We're doing Brisbane now, and then in November you've got Melbourne, right?
Correct, absolutely. So at the moment we're on 2-year rotations for Perth, Brisbane and Sydney.
We want to get you on yearly at Sydney.
We've got to get the people out there to support the show. It's a big show. It takes a lot of planning. And of course, as I said before, it takes 6 to 12 months. So I'm quite often, depending on where I am in the cycle of shows, I'm concurrently managing 3 events, right? So you might just start one, but you're finishing the tail end of another one. So, and then it just overlaps and keeps going like that. So there's a lot of work.
I can imagine. That's a crazy hurdle. Oh, I was like, I'm here. So, as a side note, we're all sort of pausing. Bentleigh here has 2 radios and a phone sitting in front of him. So we're considering ourselves very lucky to get some time with you. So, what is your absolute favorite part about the Sexpo? You walk in for the first time, and all your work has come to fruition. What's your favorite part about the whole event?
I think about 20 minutes to opening on any given day, you see a queue there of people waiting to get in, and that is probably the most satisfying element of my job, is that these people have chosen to spend their time and money lining up to come to an event that you, me, my team and I have essentially created. And I take great comfort and pride in that people are willing to do that to see something that we've created together.
As well you should. It's a great event, yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. We definitely enjoy it. Yeah. And we always go home with our pocketbooks a little lighter and our suitcases a little heavier.
Well, that's the idea. There's some great shopping here. I mean, we have over 150 shops on the show floor, ranging ranging from health, sexuality and lifestyle products, to adult products, of course, massage, food, you name it, it's here.
Yeah, it is a wide variety of stuff, and I was surprised that within a stone's throw of each other, you've got the chocolate-covered strawberries and the pleasure dolls. like this is awesome.
Well, we once got asked. There was an exhibitor who expressed an interest in exhibiting some time ago, and they did double glazing windows. All right, now you'd think, how could a double glazing window company relate to Sexpo? And we were sitting around a table, and I said to them, well, think about this. as long as you don't mind pitching your business in this way, but if your customer is perhaps quite vocal in their bedroom, double glazing window might come in handy. All right? So you really can make a link between just about any product and Sexpo if you think hard enough about it.
I absolutely love it. That sounds like a great party game.
Well, let's try it out. Let's invent it.
That's awesome. Excellent. Well, thank you very much for your time. We know you're a busy guy with 2 more Sexpos coming up. And yeah, it's been a great event. We really, really appreciate all the work that goes into it. And now we, I guess, understand the amount of work that goes into it. So thank you.
You're welcome, guys. Thanks for having me along, and thanks for coming down to the show. Cheers.
All right, so that was our chat with Bentleigh Gibson. And after that, we wandered around for a little bit more. We visited some of the sex toy booths. Fleshlight was there.
Yep.
Ovo, is that the one that makes the little toy that I
Yep,
like? They
yep.
were there. There were other adult toy booths that had all different brands and things. So again, basically if you want to find it, you can probably find it there somewhere. We did go to the fetish lounge
Yes.
area. They
Yeah.
did a show they had a shibari show and a little bit of wax play.
Yep.
Which was really great. I like that.
Yeah.
And
They had some nice products. And
They did, yeah.
I think they were from the Salon in Brisbane. I think that's
Okay.
the name of their not dojo. they're not kung fu artists, but their studio. There's the word. Is Salon. I'm pretty sure that's what it's
Okay.
called.
Yeah, that was really nice. And so we looked at some of the candles and things there as well for wax play. And there was a leather booth somewhere
Yes.
around. Not
Yep.
there, but it was separate.
Yeah, we went and bought just a few things from them.
Couple little
we ended
things.
up spending some money. But they had some really nice stuff. The Corset place
Yep.
from Brisbane
Corset
or from Melbourne.
Wonderland.
Yep.
Yeah.
They've got a brick and mortar store in Melbourne. They have really nice stuff. You bought something from them the last Sexpo.
Yep. Yep.
And we're gonna buy something from them this Sexpo, but we waited until day 2.
And they didn't have it.
And they sold out. So they can only bring so much product.
Yeah.
But that's okay, because the next time we're in Melbourne, we'll definitely.
We'll do it, yeah. We didn't visit it, but it was covered up every time we went by. The bed booth.
Oh my God, that was hilarious.
So there was. Do you remember the name of the company? It
No.
was something I should remember, and that's why I didn't write it down because I was like, "Ooh, I'll remember that name."
It was basically like the Sleep Number kind of thing.
Yeah,
but
it's
it was,
probably if you go to Sexpo's website, it's probably on there. But yeah, it was a bed company, and they had these beds that they had the contouring thing.
Yeah,
so
adjustable beds.
Yeah, the adjustable beds, and they vibrated, and so you could lay down on the bed and get a 15-minute massage, and
Yeah.
they were just covered up the entire time, basically.
Yeah,
It's kind of awesome.
So basically, our next bed will be something like that. It was
Yeah.
that was kind of funny because that's not what you expect to see at Sexpo.
No.
But it's interesting that you can take a lot of different products and apply them to sex.
Yeah.
So they really work, and I think mattresses, that's a perfect logical jump.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it was kind of cool to see them there.
And they had we didn't touch on it at all, but they did have the share room set up for the talks and things
Yep.
like that. And there were a lot of interesting talks going on during the day. It was halfway between the main stage
Yep.
and the shafter. So certain times of day it got really loud around it and harder to hear if you're in there. But at the same time, it was still enough away that as long as you're paying attention to whoever's presenting, it wasn't a problem.
Right. Yeah.
But there were a lot of good talks there, and I look forward to seeing what they do, both when they come back to Sydney and what they do down in Melbourne as well.
I agree.
Because they had some local people and just all kinds of different things.
Yeah, it was some really good talks. So yeah. So coming out of Sexpo, we did have an opportunity. We were lucky enough that the lady went with us the second day, and she brought her paramour. And so it was his first time ever at a Sexpo. So we had a quick interview with him afterwards to see his opinions on what a first-timer thinks of Sexpo. And here's that.
All right, and now we're back with the paramour.
Yes, and this is his first trip to Sexpo.
Yes, so we're going to see what he thought about it and get his opinions.
So first of all, overall thoughts. I guess first of all, hello.
Hello, how are you?
Good, well, good. Thank you. So polite.
Thank you very much.
What were your overall thoughts of Sexpo?
Overall, I liked it. It's obviously commercial. It's obviously aimed more towards the heteronormative, normal people out there, just trying to get people through to the door and get them to experience something different to their normal everyday life. But I enjoyed it in general. It was good fun.
Excellent. And
So, because you mentioned the heteronormative part, there is a kink kind of area where they do some fetish shows, and they have a St. Andrew's cross. I think it's more for display. I don't think they actually have used it at all this time. But they did some shibari work and candle play and whatnot. Did you have a chance to check that out?
Absolutely loved it. The salon ran a beautiful display there today, and it was just awesome to watch them doing it.
Cool. And did you buy anything?
A few things, yes.
We're not going to ask you to elaborate. Excellent. So awesome. Thank you so much. Glad you liked Sexpo. We like Sexpo. And any final thoughts from the Paramour?
Just if there's things like this on, or there's things in your community, just go out and do it. Just enjoy it. Enjoy your body in as many ways as you can.
I appreciate that. Yeah, that's good advice. Excellent. All right. Thanks a lot. And we're going to get some final words from everyone's favorite guest podcaster, the lady. So final opinions overall on Sexpo, because it had been a while since you had been to a Sexpo. And what do you think of this one?
It was pretty awesome, actually. I was glad that I came a second day just to see the different arrangements and things that were on, as well as different people that were here. You can't judge the whole thing on just one day, I think.
That's right. And we've got an awesome gentleman here in a kilt. That's badass. So is that the fellow you wanted to get your picture taken with?
Yes, it was.
Okay, and now we're back. The lady has had her picture taken with the gentleman in the kilt that she was stalking all day yesterday.
Podcast interruptions.
Yes, and she is just like a kid in a candy store, so excited. Baby!
So does that improve the quality of Sexpo?
Everybody calm now.
Always so eloquent with your words. I love it. So back to the serious side. So overall you enjoyed it. What was your favorite thing that you saw? Don't say the gentleman in the kilt that you just got your photo with.
Damn it. Probably my favorite part was definitely the King Studio, and seeing the shibari was really, really good. And up there was having a chat with Lucie Bee, and definitely seeing the ring work for the Halo presentation or the strip. That was amazing. Like, I could take or leave the stripping part, but watching her go onto that ring and the muscles work, it was amazing.
Yeah, I agree. That was kind of bloody awesome.
Yeah, that was Isabella Del Toro, but she was amazing on the stage.
Yeah, a lot of fun. Yeah. Awesome. Well, lady, as always, we love having you on the podcast. Any parting words?
I love you all.
You heard it here first. She loves you all.
All right. So that was the Paramour.
The Paramour.
Opinion and what he thought. That was, I guess, as we were leaving on day 2.
Yeah, that was right as we were heading out. Sad face.
Yeah.
Bye, Sexpo. See you next time.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it was a great experience. I think some people might complain that it's not grr enough, but my argument on that is, look, you got to sort of look at the great mass of people, and the great mass of people are more on the vanilla side. Yeah. So it was nice to see the wide variety of people, both ages, specifically ages, and just the types of people that were there. And how many people were carrying around shopping bags. Mm-hmm. It was clear that people were coming here and spending money, which is nice to see. But it was, I think, all in all, a pretty good experience. And I think I would highly encourage anybody who's local, whether you have, I know Sexpo is in the U.S. as well, Australia. I think there's something in Europe that bounces around Sexpo. But it was a good experience. The only negative that pops out in my mind are the Lapatorium girls.
I was going to say the Laporium.
Or whatever. They were a bit on the obnoxious side, where they would come into booths. We had Ginger Tramp was basically, they grabbed his arm and were like, come with us, get a lap dance. He goes, I don't want one. And they're like, why? It's like, because I don't want a lap dance.
And they were like trying to pull him along.
Yeah,
and
they were doing that with, it was clear they were doing that with a lot of people.
We could see that with a lot of people, and several of the guys were like, no, I don't want it. And they'd still be trying to coerce them along, and they were a bit aggressive.
Yeah.
That, I would say, was probably the biggest negative I saw.
They need a lesson in consent.
Yeah, because they would go out, and it was interesting because at the beginning of the day, you'd see them outside the Laporium, and then their circle would start getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and how far out they would go to grab people and drag them in, or try to drag them in.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't have to work that hard to get people in there.
I agree.
And if somebody says no, they mean no.
No means
keep
no.
Going.
Piss off. But yeah, it was...
Overall, it was great. It was a great experience.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Highly recommend it. Looking forward. We're going again in Melbourne. The second week of November, I think.
16th to 19th.
Yeah. I'm kind of bummed it's after PAX, because PAX is going to be in Melbourne as well, but it's like 2 weeks before, and hard to justify that. But it's good times.
Yeah, great.
So yeah, looking forward to the next one. I highly encourage anybody to go.
It's a great time.
To go.
It's a great time not only to look around and find new products, new things, get some different ideas on things that you might want to explore, check out, and it's also great people watching.
Yeah,
I mean, it's so much fun watching people, and all the shows they have on the main stage, they're great, good entertainment, and
it's just all around good time, and it's one of those things too that sometimes it's nice to go into your local sex store, sex toy store, and play with stuff. But you might not be able to get either the quality of knowledge or the being able to touch everything. And all of these booths, they have everything available to touch. So you can feel the vibration, you can feel what the texture of the toy feels like, and you can talk to somebody who, I mean, admittedly they're trying to sell it to you, but at the same point, they're also the experts in that toy, and they'll tell you what's great about it. And if you ask them what's bad about it, what they don't like, most of them will be honest and say, well, actually, this is what I don't like. Maybe you would prefer something like this better.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a good time. Highly recommended. So yeah, that's Sexpo. We'll touch on it again, I guess, after November. But yeah, in the meantime, we are the Atoms of Love at gmail.com. Send us an email with your experiences on Sexpo if you went, or your questions about Sexpo if you want to go. You can also find us on Twitter at By the By Podcast. On Facebook, www.facebook.com/By the By Podcast. We have a pendulum party.
Yes, we do.
Our third pendulum party is coming up.
Very soon.
August 25th.
Yes, it's Friday, August 25th, and I really look forward to that. So if anyone is in the Sydney area or feels like coming to the Sydney area, it's a time at our secret spot at the local swingers club where many of you know that, it's a time where you can explore and play with your bisexual side. If you're curious, just experimental, and want to see what goes on or how things work, come out and join us. There's no pressure to do anything. Nope. It's a time where both men and women can play and explore their curiosities.
You're a mess. It's one of those things that I'm going to paraphrase Cooper Beckett on this, which if you've ever had a sort of a curiosity about maybe the other sex, and you try it and you don't like it, that's fine. It doesn't change who you are.
No.
Not the other sex, the same sex. But it doesn't change who you are. So it's a time for people to come in and just try. And it's a safe place, and if you don't like it, then like I said, the next day you're still who you are. It doesn't change you.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're really looking forward to that.
Yes.
Constant listeners know that the tickets sell very fast. So yeah, get your tickets. We'll post a link, of course, on Twitter, on Facebook, and I'll keep attaching it to the podcast.
Yep.
Yeah. So is there anything else?
No, I think we've covered everything.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you for listening.